students, welcome to IFAS. In today's class is gonna be a very interesting class क्योंकि आज के सेशन में हम एक बहुत ही important topic पढ़ने वाले हैं and it is also a very interesting topic because we are going to study the legend of English literature, that is William Shakespeare. So as you all know कि विलियम शेक्सपियर जो है उन्होंने इंग्लिश लिटरेचर या ब्रिटिश लिटरेचर में उनका काफी बड़ा योगदान रहा है. Yes, and that is why we are going to study him. There are in your UGC-NET exam hundreds of lot of questions are being asked from this topic, okay, or from the plays of William Shakespeare, from the dramas of William Shakespeare. I'm sorry. That is why William Shakespeare is a very famous personality, very famous person from the exam perspective, as well as if you are studying English literature, you should and have to study William Shakespeare. तो विलियम शेक्सपियर का ही एक बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक और बहुत ही इम्पोर्टेंट प्ले आज हम डिस्कस करने वाले हैं जिसका नाम है हैमलेट. तो हैमलेट एक बहुत ही फेमस प्ले है. यस, एंड इट इज आल्सो कंसिडर्ड एज आइकॉनिक ट्रेजेडी ऑफ विलियम शेक्सपियर. ओके, why this play is called as iconic tragedy of William Shakespeare is what we are going to study in today's class. Okay, so before we study and move on to the actual session about William Shakespeare, here is a very good announcement I want to make to all the UGC-NET aspirants that we have reduced our price of our courses to 4,999 only on account of Women's Day, क्योंकि Women's Day है जैसे आप जानते हैं और 8th of March हमने हमारे कोर्स की फीस रिड्यूस कर दी है ताकि आपकी पढ़ाई ना रुके. सो कोई स्टूडेंट्स होते हैं जिनको सिर्फ फाइनेंशियल इश्यूज की वजह से उनकी पढ़ाई रुक जाती है. सो वी डोंट वांट दैट टू हैपन विद यू. इसीलिए we have taken this initiative and we have reduced the prices so that each and every student can take the admission and they can do their preparations with us. Okay, so आप देख सकते हैं यहाँ पे प्राइस रिड्यूस कर दी है फॉर आवर कंप्यूटर साइंस, मैनेजमेंट, इंग्लिश, कॉमर्स एंड पेपर 1 कोर्स. ओके, so remember this. और जो हमारी बैच स्टार्ट हो रही है, that batch is starting from 14th of March. न्यू बैच हमारी 14 मार्च से स्टार्ट हो रही है. आप उसमें एनरोल कर सकते हैं बिकॉज यू नो एग्जाम इज अप्रोचिंग. ज्यादा लेट मत कीजिए एंड आपकी पढ़ाई रुकनी नहीं चाहिए. यस, और जितना लेट आप करेंगे उतना ज्यादा बर्डन आप पे आता जाएगा. एंड आई नो क्या यू डोंट वांट दैट बर्डन ऑन यू, राइट? दैट इज वाई जल्दी से जल्दी एनरोल कीजिए एंड प्रिपरेशन स्टार्ट कर दीजिए हमारे साथ. Then also subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon, share our videos with everyone so that आप ही के साथ साथ आपके फ्रेंड्स भी ये फ्री लेक्चर्स का बेनिफिट उठा पाएं एंड आप ही के साथ वो उनकी प्रिपरेशन जारी रखें. ओके, now coming back to the topic, here we are going to study about William Shakespeare. Okay, and the so basically the name of जो Hamlet हम कहते हैं प्ले को, उसका पूरा नाम क्या है ये सबसे पहले आपको पता होना चाहिए. What is the name of this play? A tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Okay, ये पूरा नाम है उस प्ले का. Always remember, हमें सिर्फ Hamlet पता होता है, we exactly don't know what is the real name of that play, right? So it is the tragedy of Hamlet, Prince of Denmark. Then it is, so as I told you, it is the iconic tragedy of Shakespeare, iconic tragic play of William Shakespeare. Okay, so yes, so the first performance of this play was between 1601 and 1602. Okay, इस साल के दौरान इसका सबसे पहला प्ले हुआ था. That is one thing. Second, it is the longest play of William Shakespeare. Then it is set in the एल्सिनोर कैसल इन डेनमार्क. सो इसका पूरा जो सेटिंग था वो कहाँ का था? एल्सिनोर जो कैसल है डेनमार्क में, उसके वहां का पूरा उसका सेटिंग है. ओके, क्योंकि as you know that this whole play of Hamlet is based on the Prince of Denmark. Who is the Prince of Denmark? Obviously, Hamlet is the Prince of Denmark, and this whole play revolves around, or this play is based, focuses on the revenge that Hamlet wants to take from his uncle. Okay, Claudius. So Claudius is the uncle of Hamlet, and why he want to take the revenge? Because Claudius, his uncle, murdered his father, who was the king of Denmark earlier. He wanted to take the throne, and he also married to his mother, Hamlet's mother. Okay, that is why. So he felt very bad about it. He wanted to take the revenge of his father's murder. Okay, so that is why this whole play is all about. And one more thing, so before we now we have understood what is there in the play. So this whole play is about the revenge that Hamlet wants to take from his uncle. He is also very disheartened. He is also very heartbroken by seeing this fact that his mother has already married to his uncle, despite the sudden death, or despite the very first death of his own husband. Okay, so that is why he is very upset and he wants to take the revenge, and this whole story is about that avenge. Okay, so now we have understood the background of the story. Now, before we actually start looking at the acts one by one, first we should know the characters. Okay, so the first character that we are going to talk about is obviously Hamlet. So Hamlet is the Prince of Denmark. Okay. Second, Claudius. Claudius is the king of Denmark now, and he is also the Hamlet's uncle. Okay. Then Gertrude. So Gertrude is the queen of Denmark, and she is also Hamlet's mother. So what's the name of Hamlet's mother? It's the Gertrude. Next, the ghost of Hamlet's father. So the ghost's role is also very important in Hamlet, because only with that ghost he gets to know about that who killed his father. Because for Hamlet, this was very new. For Hamlet, it was something which was he was not expecting, and he was already abroad in Germany. He was studying in Germany. So he actually did not know the situation, what was going on in Denmark. Okay, so the ghost tells him about the murder, and then he decides to take the revenge. Next is Polonius. Who is Polonius? He is the chief counselor of Claudius. Next is Ophelia. Ophelia is the daughter of Polonius, and he is also the love interest of Hamlet. So Hamlet falls in love with Ophelia, Polonius' daughter. Then we have Latus. Latus is the son of Polonius. And then we also have Horatio. So Horatio is the best friend of Hamlet. So he is loyal friend, and he is also confident of Hamlet. Okay, so Hamlet blindly had faith in or blindly trusted Horatio. Then we have Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, friends of Hamlet. And then we also have Fortinbras, Prince of Norway. So these are the 10 important characters who are going to make this play the best play. Okay. So now, as you have understood the characters, now let's pay attention to just the summary. So the ghost of the king of Denmark tells his son Hamlet to avenge his murder by killing the new king, that is Hamlet's uncle. And Hamlet finds madness, contemplates life and death, and seeks revenge. So his uncle fears of his life, also derives plots to kill Hamlet. The play ends with a duel during which the king, queen, Hamlet's opponent, and Hamlet himself are all killed. Okay. So what do we understand with this summary? That how this whole scene starts. That the very first thing, the scene starts with the people of the Denmark are talking, or they are talking amongst themselves about the ghost. Okay, so they are talking about the ghost, that yes, I have seen the ghost, and Horatio is one of them. So Horatio has also seen the ghost. So he comes and they all decide that yes, we are going to tell Hamlet about the ghost, and so that Hamlet will take some action against it. So then what happens is then he comes to know. So then he waits for the night, and then he meets the ghost. So when he meets the ghost, he gets to know. So the ghost tells him that his uncle has killed him. Now, how the uncle has killed him, we are going to see in the next some slides. So that time I'll be telling you how he killed the king of Denmark, or the father of Hamlet. And that time he thinks, or he takes the pledge that yes, I am going to take the revenge. But what happens here is, he was so much in tension, he was so much worried, he started thinking. Basically, he overthinked about it, okay? And he started behaving very weird. So when he was behaving very weird, actually all the students did not know and what is exactly happening here. Okay, why is Hamlet behaving like this? Nobody actually knew. So then there was this thing going on between Ophelia and Hamlet. So they both were in love. So Claudius and Gertrude thought that because Hamlet is in love, he is acting weird, or he is becoming mad out of love. But the case was not that. That was not the situation. He was going mad by thinking that how can his uncle kill his father, and how can his mother immediately marry his uncle. So that was something which was very disturbing for Hamlet, and he was going mad. He was contemplated. Okay, he contemplates between life and death. He was not able to understand, grasp, get to know about whatever was going on in that time. Okay, so then what is the end of this play? Everyone was killed. So we are going to see with the acts one by one that how everyone was killed at the end of this play. Okay, so now let's talk about Act 1. So Act 1 starts with the late at night guards on the battlements of Denmark. That is the Elsinore, that you already know it is the castle. So there are guards outside the castle, are met by Horatio, Prince Hamlet's friend from school. The guards describes a ghost they have seen that resembles Hamlet's father. Okay, so here the guards started talking, or they tell Horatio that we have seen a ghost, and who is similar in the looking. So he is similar to the father of Hamlet. Okay, the recently deceased king. At that moment, the ghost appears, and the guards and the Horatio decided to tell Hamlet. So this scene, the whole scene when this was going on, the ghost appears because it was the night time, and then Horatio also sees the ghost. Okay, so when Horatio himself saw the ghost, he decides to tell it to Hamlet so that Hamlet will take some action against it. Then what happens? That Claudius, Hamlet's uncle, married Hamlet's recently widowed mother. becoming the new king of Denmark. So why Claudius killed his father? We don't know in this act, okay, that he has, or Claudius has killed his father. As of now, what we know that there is a ghost, and then Claudius is now the new king of Denmark, and he is married to Hamlet's mother. Hamlet continues to mourn for his father's death and laments his mother's lack of loyalty. See, he is very sad to see the lack of loyalty towards that his mother is showing. So when Hamlet hears of the ghost from Horatio, he wants to see it for himself. Now he's not ready to believe it, okay, that yes, the ghost exists and the ghost is of his father, and he doesn't even know that why the ghost is there. That is why he wanted to see it by himself. So this everything has happened in the first scene. Now elsewhere, the royal attendant Polonius says welfare to his son Latus, okay, who is departing for France. Now Latus wants his sisters Ophelia away from Hamlet and thinking too much of his attention towards her. Now here on the other hand, now this is something going on in the castle with Hamlet and his uncle and mother. Now on the other part, there is Polonius, who is the chief counselor of Claudius. So he sends, now he is preparing to send his son Latius to France. Now here Latius is warning Ophelia that please stay away from Hamlet and don't get too involved in him. Okay. Next thing is, then what else happened in the Act 1? The ghost appears to Hamlet claiming indeed to be the ghost of his father. Now in the Act 1, now Hamlet has seen his father's ghost actually. And he tells Hamlet about how Claudius, the current king and Hamlet's uncle, murdered him. And Hamlet swears the vengeance for his father. So Hamlet decides to feign madness while he tests the truth of the ghost allegations. So here, first of all, he was a lot of intention that whether the ghost is true or not. Okay, but then he comes to know that yes, the ghost is true, and then he decides to take the revenge from his uncle. Okay, so there is a famous line here which is very important to remember, that this above all to thine own self be true. Okay, so this is the line from the Act 1, Scene 3. Okay, so there are different scenes now in Hamlet itself, the play in Act 1. So this is the famous line that you have to remember. Now the line, if you will see the line, you will not understand it in a first go. Why? Because this line is written in the Old English. So because it is written in the Old English, the language used or the words used here are quite different from what we used in today's world. Okay? But it is important. Now we are going to talk about Act 2. So what is there in the Act 2? So according to his plan. So now, before we look for the Act 2, now in the Act 1, what Hamlet thinks, that he decides a plan. Okay. So what was his plan? So he plans that he will have a play. Fake play. Okay. So in that fake play, what he is going to do, he is going to set up and he is going to make the actors play whatever has happened with his father. Okay, and in the exact same manner, he is going to present everything in front of Claudius. So he wanted to see why he wanted to do it, because he wanted to see the reaction of Claudius, whether Claudius feels guilty about it or not. Okay, so if he sees some changes or some reaction from Claudius, then definitely he will be sure about it, right? Yes, the Claudius has killed his father. That was his plan. So now, according to his plan, Hamlet begins to act strangely. He rejects Ophelia, while Claudius and Polonius, the royal attendant, spy on him. They had hoped to find the reason for the Hamlet's sudden change in behavior, but could not. So they were on this plan. So here Claudius and Polonius were again on the plan. They wanted to find out that why Hamlet is behaving like this. So, but Claudius summons Guildenstern and Rosencrantz, old friends of Hamlet, to find out what's got into him. Okay, so now here Claudius calls his two friends, who are the Guildenstern and Rosencrantz. Okay, so Rosencrantz and Guildenstern are the two old friends of Hamlet, but now they are not coming here as the old friends of Hamlet. Okay, here they are coming to spy on Hamlet and to find out what is the reason behind the strange behavior of Hamlet. Okay, on the command of Claudius. So their arrival coincides with a group of traveler actors that Hamlet happens to know well. So Hamlet writes a play which includes scenes that mimic the murder of Hamlet's father. So during rehearsal, Hamlet and the actors plot to present Hamlet's play before the king and queen. So this is there in the Act 2. Now we are going to talk about Act 3. So Act 3 is the performance. Now here the actual performance has started in the Act 3. So here Hamlet watches Claudius closely to see how he reacts. The play provokes Claudius and he interprets the action by the storming out. Means he walks and goes away, or he moves out of the theatre. Then he immediately resolves to send Hamlet away. So Hamlet is summoned by his distressed mother, Gertrude, and on the way he happens upon Claudius kneeling and attempting to pray. So here what happens that so now till the Act 3 he has understood that yes, Claudius is the killer of his father. So now what he wanted, now he wanted the revenge. He wanted to kill Claudius. But when he visits Claudius, Claudius was praying there. Okay. So now what he thinks that if I will kill Claudius while he was praying, he will be directly sent to heaven. But instead his father's ghost is on the earth. So his father's soul has not got the peace. But Claudius, in spite killing his father, will get to go to heaven. That is why he drops the plan there. So Hamlet reasons that to kill the king now would only send his soul to heaven rather than hell. So Hamlet decides to spare his life for the time being. कि अभी नहीं मारते इसको, बाद में देखेंगे. Okay. So this is the Act 3. Polonius hides in Gertrude's room to protect her from her. Okay, just give me a second. Yeah. So then, on the other hand, Polonius is hiding in the Gertrude's room. Okay, why he was hiding? To protect her from her unpredictable son. Okay, so when Hamlet arrives to scold his mother. Now, what actually happened here is that now Hamlet is very angry. So, in that anger, he goes to his mother's chamber to talk to her that why she did that. Okay, that why she abandoned her father, his father, and he married Claudius. And despite knowing that Claudius is the killer of his father, so he was very angry, he was very anxious, he was very frustrated. And he decides to scold his mother. So that is why he goes to her chamber. Now, in the chamber, Polonius is hiding. Now, why Polonius is hiding? To protect the queen, that now everyone was very uncertain about Hamlet's behavior. Yes, they did not know that why Hamlet is behaving like this, or what will be his next step, what will he do next. So that is why they all decided, so Polonius decided to protect the queen. So if Hamlet does something to the mother, then Polonius will help or protect the queen. Okay, that was the reason. But let's see what happens here. Mother, he hears Polonius moving behind the arras, the kind of tapestry. Okay, so because he was hiding in the tapestry, he saw the movement there. Who saw the movement? Hamlet saw the movement. So he stabs the tapestry and in so doing kills Polonius. So what happens now? What he thought, what Hamlet thought, that somebody is moving there, means that might be Claudius. Okay, so because he thought that he is Claudius, he stabs with the knife or whatever the weapon he had, he stabs in the tapestry. And who was killed? Polonius was killed because of it. Okay, the ghost of Hamlet's father reappears and warns his son not to delay revenge and upset his mother. Okay, so here he says, then again the ghost appears there, and the ghost says that now you have delayed, now you have killed the Polonius, means Claudius is still alive there. So don't delay in the killing the or taking the revenge from the Claudius. So this is the scene. Then again there is a what a piece of work is man. So this is one more thing that is written. So it is there in the Act 2, Scene 2 by Hamlet. So this is one more important. So they might also ask questions in exam related to these lines as well. Okay, so remember few of the lines which I am mentioning here. Now we are going to talk about Act 4. So in the Act 4, now Hamlet is sent to England. Supposedly as an ambassador, just as King Fortinbras of Norway crosses Denmark with an army to attack Poland. Okay, so now Hamlet was sent to England as an ambassador. But when Hamlet was away, Fortinbras of Norway, now he is the king of Norway. Okay, now he is passing by the Denmark with his army to attack on Poland. Okay, so during his journey, Hamlet discovered Claudius has a plan to have him killed once he arrives. So when he was going away, he heard from somebody that Claudius is making a plan to kill Hamlet, which was even frustrating, or even what you can say, it was so disturbing for Hamlet, right? So he returns to Denmark alone, sending his companions Rosencrantz and Guildenstern to their deaths in his place. Okay, so what happens that he comes alone and he kills Rosencrantz and Guildenstern. Okay, and he sends him there. Rejected by Hamlet, Ophelia is now desolate at the loss of her father. Now, what happened? So, Ophelia was in love with Hamlet, but in Hamlet's head, only hatred and revenge was there. That is why he rejects Ophelia as well. So now Ophelia was rejected by Hamlet. So Ophelia did not have love, and she also lost her father now. Yeah. So now she is very much depressed. That is why the loss of father. So she goes mad and drowns. So now she goes mad. She doesn't know what to do now. Okay. That is why she drowns and she dies there. This was the Act 4. Now, the Act 5 is the last act of the play. So, in the last act, on the way back to Denmark, Hamlet meets Horatio in the graveyard along with the gravedigger. So, where they talk of the chances of life and death. So, Ophelia Ophelia's funeral procession arrives at the very same graveyard. What luck! So Hamlet confronts Laertes, Ophelia's brother, who has taken his father's place at the court. Now, obviously, now Polonius is dead. So who will take the position of Polonius? Laertes has taken the position of Polonius. But now again, Hamlet and Horatio are talking with each other. Okay. And a duel is arranged between Hamlet and Laertes. So during the match, Claudius conspires with Laertes to kill Hamlet. Now here what happens? Now Laertes' father is also dead and his sister is also dead. So what he thinks that Hamlet is responsible for both these deaths. Okay, that is why he is very angry with Hamlet, and they started a what you can call it, a conflict now. So now here Claudius is supporting Laertes, and he tells Laertes that you have to kill Hamlet here. Then they plan that Hamlet will die either on a poisoned raper or with poisoned wine. The plans go vary when Gertrude unwittingly drinks from the poisoned cup and dies. So here the plan was to kill Hamlet. So they poisoned the wine, or they poisoned the raper. But who drinks the poisoned drink? Gertrude drinks it and she dies. So then both Laertes and Hamlet are wounded by the poisoned blade, and Laertes dies. So now what happens? Both are wounded. So now the blade of this raper was with the poison. Okay, so they were fighting with that, and both were wounded with that blade. Okay, and the blade was poisoned. That is why they both were in lot of trouble, and with that Laertes also dies there. Hamlet in his death thwarts kills Claudius, and Hamlet dies, leaving only his friend Horatio to explain the truth to the new king, that is Fortibras, as he turns in victory from the Polish war. Okay. Now what happens? Now Hamlet kills Claudius as well, though he was wounded. Now imagine the whole movie in front of you. Okay. Now here everyone is dying. There is a hero, then there is a villain. Okay, who is the hero? Hamlet is the hero. Who is the villain? Claudius is the villain right now. Or earlier it was Laertes. So when they both were fighting, what happened? They both were wounded. So because they both were wounded, now Laertes dies because of the wound, because he was the villain and he was weak. But our hero was strong. Hamlet was strong. But with the wound, he kills Claudius as well. But the wound started growing up and he dies because of that poison. Okay, the poison starts spreading all over his body. But at least he got the satisfaction of killing his father's criminal. Yes. So in the end, everyone dies. But who remains? Horatio remains. And Horatio was already the loyal friend of Hamlet. That is why he tells the whole truth. To whom? To the new king. And who was the new king? Fortinbras was the new king. He was earlier the king of Norway. And when he hears the whole story, now he sees that there is nobody left to rule this Denmark, rule the kingdom. That is why he takes this throne and he starts ruling it. Okay, so this is the whole story, or this is the all 5 acts of Hamlet. Okay, now we are going to discuss Hamlet as a revenge tragedy. So before we talk about Hamlet as a revenge tragedy, I would like to acknowledge few of the comments here. So hello Siddharth, hello Ranjit Desai, good morning. Yes, good morning Kumar Joshi. Good morning Sachin. Radha, yes, very good morning. Hello Shraddha. Hello Ranjit, yes. Hello, Radha. Okay, so Radha has a question. Ma'am, Women's Day offer kya hai? So Radha, the Women's Day offer is that we have reduced the price of our course to 4999. Okay, 4999. So इतने कम प्राइस में आपको हमारे कोर्स में एनरोल करने का मौका मिल रहा है. So that is the Women's Day prize that we are offering to you. Okay. So if anybody has any doubts related to the all the act or what is the plot of this Hamlet play, you can ask it to me. So if we talk about Hamlet as a revenge tragedy, the very first thing you should know is that revenge was the what you can call revenge was the important component, or revenge was the important part of Renaissance age. Okay. Because everybody in the Renaissance age was so every play or every act they were making in such a way that there might be some spice in it, to give some spice to the play, to the drama. Okay, that is why in the Renaissance age, tragedy was very important part. Okay, and in the Christian, so according to Christian ethics, revenge was immoral. Revenge, they Christianity, if you believe in Christianity, they thought that taking revenge is immoral. You should not take revenge. But in the Elizabethan, they thought that no, it is our right that if somebody has done something bad to us, we should take whatever, or we deserve what is ours, and we should take that back. Okay, so that was something which was focused in that particular time. And Elizabethans believed that personal honor, one must personal honor one deeds to be defended, and murder needs to be avenged. That was their thinking. So it is a sacred duty of the person, or it was the sacred duty of the son to take the avenge of his father's death. That was the Elizabethan concept. And as you know that William Shakespeare also is also from the Elizabethan age. That is why he believed in it and he wrote this kind of play. Okay. So then now we are going to talk about the structure of revenge play. How is the structure of revenge play? So it is there are 5 structures. First one is exposition, which is usually by a ghost or by victims in their final moments. Next is anticipation. It is in an collaboration, it an collaborate plan for carrying out the revenge is prepared. Okay, that is called as anticipation. Third one is confrontation. So where the avenger, who is the avenger? Our hero, and the villain comes face to face. That is the confrontation. Then delay. The hero keeps postponing taking action due to moral and personal reasons. There you see that when the Claudius was praying, the Hamlet decides not to kill Claudius because he is praying. So that is the delay he made in his revenge in killing Claudius. Then fifth is fulfillment. Both the hero and villain are destroyed. So what is the end of this play? Obviously the fulfillment that both of them are dead here. Okay. This is the structure of revenge play. So now we are going to talk about the haemorrhagia. Now what is haemorrhagia? It is basically the downfall. Okay, so what is this downfall? So it is a tragic flaw of Hamlet, that Hamlet was such an overthinker. Okay, so he just so you can see in Hamlet that he was so confused, he couldn't make the right decisions at the right times. Okay, that was a very big drawback of Hamlet. Okay, so here you can see that failure to act fast enough. So he thinks so much about the consequences of action that that action gets postponed. So he was such an overthinker. वो सोच के ही वो हर चीज में delay कर दे रहा था. And because of which Hamlet is thinking man who cannot take decisive action at the right time. So because he was not quite clear with his thoughts, he couldn't make the right decisions at the right time. So which was very important for Hamlet as a hero to make the decision right. Yes, because अगर वो सही decision ले लेता तो शायद result उसका काफी सही निकलता. Yes, so that was something, and Hamlet rises above the revenge, what you can call it, revenge play, and turns out to be the great tragedy. So these were the few reasons. So these are the few reasons which makes the Hamlet a great tragedy. Okay, because so many things happened in it, right? Everyone ends up killing. So everyone ended up dead. That is why this is called as a very great tragedy, and it was a very long play. So then there are 7 soliloquies in Hamlet. So what is a soliloquy? Soliloquy is something which a person is thinking in his mind, but it is spoken out loud. है ना? जैसे मान लो अब मैं सोच रही हूँ, बट मैं सोचते सोचते मैं जोर से बात कर रही हूँ. आज मेरी जो क्लास थी ना, वो मुझे ना 10 की जगह शायद 11 लेनी चाहिए थी. तो पता नहीं स्टूडेंट्स को समझ में आया होगा या नहीं आया होगा. So when I'm trying to say this, these are my inner thoughts, okay? But I am talking it loud. Why I am talking it loud? So soliloquies are used in a play कि जो एक्टर है हमारे वो क्या सोच रहे हैं ये हमारे ऑडियंस को भी पता चले. Okay, so it is something which is to make the act creative and interesting as well. Okay, there are 7 soliloquies in Hamlet. कौन सी है देखते हैं one by one. First one appears in Act 1, Scene 2. The soliloquy that says is that this too solid flesh would melt. So when is this said? Shows how disgusted Hamlet is at his mother's remarriage. So now वो अभी तक उसके जो भी पापा के ghost है, he has not met his father's ghost yet. That is why, but he is very sad and upset looking at his mother's decision or mother's remarriage. Okay. Second is appear second. So this one is the second one. Okay. So appears in Act 1, Scene 5 after meeting the ghost. So Hamlet commits to avenge his father's death. That is the second soliloquy. Third is the occurs in the Act 2, Scene 2, where Hamlet feels guilty for not taking revenge. Because he decides, so here in the Act 2, Scene 2, Claudius is Claudius is praying and he decides not to kill Claudius right now. So then he feels very bad that even now the killer of my father is out. Third is to be or not to be. ये तो बहुत ही famous soliloquy है. To be or not to be. It occurs in Act 3, Scene 1. Where Hamlet thinks about the conflict between passion and reason. Okay, so क्या होना चाहिए क्या नहीं होना चाहिए, what is the passion, what is the reason, it's all he's confused between it, and he says to be or not to be is the question. Then fifth soliloquy is 'tis now the very witching time of night. Now, okay, so occurs in Act 3, Scene 2, before Hamlet goes to Gertrude's chamber. Okay, means he says that no, this is not the right time to kill the Claudius. Okay, so this is something. Okay, so I guess I hope किसी को doubt नहीं है as of now. Let's look next. Occurs in Act 3, 6, the soliloquy, Act 3, Scene 3, that prayer scene. Okay, when Hamlet decides not to kill Claudius. And the 7th soliloquy is occurs in Act 4, Scene 4, when Hamlet thinks about his inability to execute his revenge, even with sufficient motive and cause. So these are the 7 soliloquies which are important from exam point. Okay, so yes, this is it from my side. Sorry. Yes, so this was it from my side. I hope you might have understood all the points and each and every act. What is a Hamlet all about? How the Hamlet is a revenge tragedy. How Hamlet has become iconic revenge tragedy. So that is everything Hamlet is all about. And so basically for today, what you have to do is understand the character of Hamlet, because Hamlet is a very what you can call it, it's a very interesting character and it is quite confusing character too. So understand it with all the perspectives. Okay, and this is it for this particular session. I hope you have enjoyed the session. Until the time we meet next, happy learning.